To quote one of my lectures, first thing you need to do is to read a question, then you should read a question, and then you should read the question again, just to make sure, because you are under stress condition and you will be, when you rush, there's a big risk that you're going to miss out on something. So try to read it carefully, number of times, highlight the key words such as evaluate or compare, contrast, because you have to know the meaning of those words when you approach any essay, not only in the exam condition. So find the keywords and then focus on this actually what is being required from you, and focus on this and nothing else.
I'd say definitely don't forget all the advice you've had in the past. When it comes to an exam essay, definitely don't forget the advice you had in the past. Like, read the question. Like I said before, the normal essays, it is an easy thing to forget to do, I guess, because if you're just thinking about starting to write. I actually know someone in the year above who didn't read the question in the exam and answered a completely different question. So it's definitely don't forget the advice. Read through, do a plan. Even though I said before I do go straight into it when I'm in the exam, I do definitely think myself through and try and remain calm.
I think when you have essays and exams at university, you definitely need to prepare for them beforehand. It's good to have a broad knowledge of everything that you've covered in the module, so that you're prepared for anything that comes up. You can't really bet that one thing's going to come up and only revise that. It's also good to have some readings for each topic that you can sort of wind in there, and because that particularly improves your grade.
Generally, I kind of just look at the question, I highlight the words in the question that are most important. So if usually the words discuss or whichever is the main question word are important to note, and then I just kind of get going.
I'll usually allocate about 5 to 10 minutes of planning time and underline key questions, key topics in the question, and also key buzzwords in the questions. For instance, stuff like state or list or describe or stuff like that, because that helps put in your mind what they want from you.
Exam essays do have some similarities with essays that you do in your own time, but there are also some differences. Of course, the first major difference is that you are time constrained and that you are now faced with questions that perhaps you've never seen before. But at the same time, you need to give a good structure, you need to give a sound knowledge and understanding of what you're talking about. The way that I would say to get round that is to, or what I do anyway, is that at the top of the essay sheet in an examination, I will write out all my key thoughts. I will then move them around and put them into a sensible structure. Do bear in mind that I am using a computer when I do this. If you're using paper, which the vast majority of students do, you can use note paper. I then get it into a structure that makes sense, and then as I write what I'm saying, I just cross everything off as I go along. And examinations actually then feel like quite a breeze, but you do have to have that solid structure.